of the opinion.
You're watching NHK World Newsline. It's 8 a.m. here in Japan. I'm Sherry Ann. Tokyo Electric Power Company is considering ways to remove water from the Quaikid nuclear plant where 3 workers have been exposed to high levels of radiation. On Thursday, the workers waded into water that had 10,000 times the normal level of radiation. They were working to install power cables at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant and stood in water in the basement of the turbine building of the number 3 reactor. After the incident, TEPCO found that water in the basement of the number 1 reactor has a similar level of radiation. The company says the fuel rods inside reactors may be breached, causing radioactive material to leak. TEPCO is working to remove the water inside the reactor buildings. This is an especially challenging operation at reactor number 1, where there's been damage to equipment used to remove radioactive substances from water. TEPCO says it must remove the contaminated water as quickly as possible to resume efforts to restore external power to the reactors in order to restart cooling systems. And medical radiation experts say 2 of the 3 workers exposed to the high levels of radiation may need to receive treatment for burns. The 3 workers have been closely examined at the National Institute of Radiological Sciences in Chiba Prefecture. Experts from the institute said on Friday that the skin of 2 workers shows no signs of injury, though symptoms may develop in the next 3 weeks. If this occurs, the workers will receive the same treatment used for burns. The experts indicated that so far the internal symptoms are not serious enough to require special treatment. The 2 workers were standing in radioactive water for about 2 hours and were partially exposed to strong radiation of 2,000 to 6,000 millisieverts. The other worker was wearing waterproof boots and has no symptoms of internal radiation exposure. The doctors say he is unlikely to develop a skin disorder. Now the latest on water contamination. The radioactive element iodine-131 has been detected in tap water in parts of Ibaraki and Chiba prefectures at levels above the recommended safety limit for infants. It's the second day running that water in the prefectures has given such high readings. Meanwhile, levels have dropped here in Tokyo and Tochigi prefecture. In Ibaraki Prefecture, to the south of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant, a maximum of 229.6 becquerels per liter of radioactive iodine-131 was found in water samples from a purification plant in Hitachi City. Hitachi and other municipalities, including Hitachi-Ota, Kazama, Toride, and Tokai Village, are advising residents not to give tap water to babies less than 1 year old. In Chiba Prefecture, officials have issued similar warnings in Noda, Kashiwa, Nagareyama, Abiko, Yachiyo, and parts of Matsudo and Narashino. Warnings are also in effect throughout Fukushima. Experts are calling for residents to remain calm, saying the levels are likely to fluctuate. Meanwhile, officials in Tokyo and Tochigi prefectures have lifted their warnings against giving tap water to infants as levels of iodine-131 there have dropped. A large number of people are still missing in disaster-hit areas, but a series of problems at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant are hampering some people's desperate efforts to search for their families and friends. We now have a report from Fukushima Prefecture.